To the Most High makes us strong. When we trust in Yah, how can our life go wrong? Chillin' sang the song, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Give thanks to the Most High makes us strong. When we trust in Yah, how can our life go wrong? Chillin' sang the song, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. All praises due to Him. Who is who He is, came down from out of heaven to make us His kids. Now this is serious business. And Abraham was his friend. He was considered a prince. Genesis 15:13, 400 years of slavery. True prophecy, what other people could it be? Having babies in the cotton field, had mercury still here, murdered by the cops. So much violence on our block. Part of my prophecy, Deuteronomy 28. My people let it marinate, prophecy, reality. Scholars wanna battle me, we need not fight. I just recite what I comprehend. Can I live? Breaking bread with my nation, eating spoken word melodies we travel on, surviving in Babylon. The Father we waiting on. May the judge soon come, set the record straight. Thanks to the Most High makes us strong. When we trust in Yah, how can our life go wrong? Chillin' sang the song, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Give thanks to the Most High makes us strong. When we trust in Yah, how can our life go wrong? Chillin' sang the song, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. The greatest artist alive, Yahuwah, who you thought it was from His throne above, made us from the dust, stop the arrogance. We just flesh and blood, sketched out in the image of such. And it's too much when some minute and back in touch. I was one for show, had to get down low, put my face in the dirt. It's what the Father deserves, who gives power to the powers, rain to the flowers, turn crops to powder. I recognize who my maker is, and it's chosen all my relatives. Shout out to the mole rays who teaching the right thing. Together we all say hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah, making tough a lot. Round and round the clock till our bodies stop. Ain't no stopping us, we too serious. He reviving us, we his chosen ones. He reviving us, no disguising us. This is marvelous, the resurrection of a dead nation. Give thanks to the Most High makes us strong. When we trust in Yah, how can our life go wrong? Chillin' sang the song, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Give thanks to the Most High makes us strong. When we trust in Yah, how can our life go wrong? Chillin' sang the song, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters all over the world. Yahoo to be in Israel. I'm a servant of the Most High Yahweh. I came to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it's all about Yah and nobody else. And if you hear anybody talking about anybody else other than Yahweh, they lying and they gonna be dying. All right. Now today's topic is Leviticus chapter 15. And I'm going to talk about some more things, but it's about men being unclean and women being unclean. That's what it's all about. This subject is. Okay. Today I want to start at Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1.
Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue
It said when any man have a running issue
out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
Okay, this issue is talking about gonorrhea. Gonorrhea and what's VD? You know, VD and gonorrhea, a running issue out your penis. That's what this is talking about. Read.
And this shall be his uncleanness and his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue.
Yes, because when you got this issue, gonorrhea, it'll discharge, and sometimes it won't discharge. You know, read.
It is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean.
Okay, when this man got this gonorrhea, this VD, wherever he lay at or wherever he sit at is unclean. That's when you have a towel. You get you a bath towel, and wherever you sit up under that bath towel. Because that bath towel is going to be unclean wherever you sit at. Read.
And everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean.
See what it say? Anywhere you sit, it's going to be unclean.
And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even.
Until the evening.
And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat, that hath the issue, shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean.
So wherever he sit or wherever he go and touch, it's going to be unclean. And when he got this issue, and this issue is gonorrhea or VD or something.
And whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even.
And if that person touch it, they're going to be unclean until the evening because they might not know that this person has this issue.
And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even.
Take a bath or a shower and be unclean to the evening.
And whomsoever he toucheth that hath the issue, and have not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water.
Now, you skip 12, and
I'm at 11.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Verse 11, and whomsoever he toucheth that hath the issue, and have not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which hath the issue, shall be broken.
Okay, when this man drink out a glass of water or eat out a pot or whatever, and he got this gonorrhea, you supposed to throw it away, break it up, get rid of it. That's unclean. You don't use that no more.
And every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water.
See, a vessel of wood should be rinsed in water, but you break the other one.
And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahweh unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest.
Now, that's how we did it when we was in our own land. That's how we did it. But when I was in the United States, we can't do it this way. So we have to, like I said, take some medicine, but still take a bath and wash your clothes.
And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the even.
Now, copulation is a semen. That's what this means right here.
And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the even. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the even. And if a woman have a issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood.
Now, if a woman is on a menstrual, that's talking about a period of menstrual, on a period every once a month. That's what they're saying right here. Read.
She shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even.
That's right. Whoever touched this woman is while she on her ministry. That's really what they're saying. You ain't supposed to be sleeping in the bed with her. You ain't supposed to be, really around her. Because when we was in our land, this how it went down. We didn't be, women couldn't cook. They couldn't be around us, and they have to be separated from us when they was on their ministry. They couldn't be around us for 7 days or however long her ministry was. Read.
And everything that she lie upon in her separation shall be unclean.
And when she separated herself from a man or a husband, boyfriend, whoever it was gonna be still gonna be unclean.
Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
And everything she sit on, that means you get a towel, a bath towel, sit on it.
And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever toucheth anything that she set upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she
First
sitteth,
read. Yeah.
23.
Okay.
And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even.
Now the man gonna be unclean if he touch her any kind of way. He gonna be clean.
And if
Unclean, I mean.
and if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days.
Now, if a man has sex with a woman while she on her ministry, which is the nastiest thing in the world to do, you sick if you do it anyway. Something wrong with you. You got a problem. You really retarded. So you're gonna be you're gonna be unclean for 7 days for laying with this woman while she on her ministry. That's that's one of the nastiest things in the world that you can do. Read.
And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean.
And everywhere you lie and lay, you gonna be unclean.
And if a woman hath an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean.
The whole time she on her ministry or have a running issue of blood coming out of her, she gonna be unclean. Period.
Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation, and whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
Wherever this woman sit in the house, it's gonna be unclean. That's when you get you a bath towel and sit on that towel when you're on your ministry, and wherever you at, and you're sitting in your car, you put your bath towel in the car wherever you sit at, and then make that towel unclean.
As the uncleanness of her separation, and whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean.
And whoever touched that nasty towel gonna be unclean. If she forget to leave the towel somewhere and you pick it up and touch it, you unclean is what they're saying.
And shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water,
And if you touch the towel, well, you supposed to take a bath, shower.
and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean.
Okay, the day that her ministry stopped, she counts 7 days after that, and then she'll be unclean. Not no 3 days or no 4 days. You have to wait 7 days, which is a week, for her to be clean again. Not right after she have a period, you jump inside her. No, that ain't what this talking about. She have to wait 7 days after her menstrual stop, and then she'll be clean after the 7 days. Read.
And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
And that's how we did it in the land, the Holy Land. But we're not in our land today, so we can't, this here part, you know.
And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them.
See, we couldn't go to the tabernacle like this. You got gonorrhea, and she on her ministry. You couldn't go to no tabernacle. That's what they're saying.
This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and,
Sick of her fly means she on her ministry. She bleed once a month. Read.
of him that hath an issue, of the man, and of the woman, and of him that lie with her that is unclean.
That's unclean to lie with a woman that's on her ministry. A man got gonorrhea and he lay with a woman and he know he's sick. He down there. So this is a law between the woman and the man when they unclean. Okay, let's go to Numbers. I think I want Numbers. Let's see, was it Numbers? Yeah, Numbers 19. Let's see. Let's start. Numbers 19. Let's start at the 19 and 11.
Numbers chapter 19, verse 11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days.
So if you go to a funeral and you touch that dead body any kind of way, you're gonna be unclean for 7 days. You touch a dead body. Read.
He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean.
That's right.
Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purify not himself, defileth the tabernacle of Yahweh, and their soul shall be cut off from Israel.
See, in other words, when you touch a dead body, you can't go to the tabernacle of Yahweh. That's what they're saying.
Because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him, he shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law when a man die in a tent. All that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days.
Okay, read that again. This is the law.
This is the law when a man die in a tent. All that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days.
So, in other words, if a person die in a house in this day and time, because we ain't living in tents. So, if a person die in a house, you gonna be unclean. You still gonna be unclean for 7 days for being around that dead body, or for when it died and you was in the house. Read.
And every open vessel which hath no covering bound upon it is unclean.
And every vessel, you supposed to get rid of it because when the man died in the house, now he in other words, he like it contaminated the whole house or the whole tent. He contaminated it. Read.
And whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days.
Okay. Any parts of a dead person you touch, you're gonna be unclean for 7 days.
And for an unclean person they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel.
Okay, for sin. So can no man die for your sin? If we use animals back in those days, when no human being dying for no other human, they use animals, a heifer, burn a heifer, that's a cow.
And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the third day, and on the seventh day, and on the seventh day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be unclean at even. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of Yahweh. The water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean.
You got to get that water sprinkled up on you for you to become clean again. Read.
And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them, that he that sprinkleth the water of separation shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of separation shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean,
Whatever that person touched is unclean, it's going to be unclean.
and the soul that toucheth it shall be unclean until even.
Until even. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to get the reason why I had this subject. I had a call from one of my cousins, and he wanted to know about a woman in her ministry. So I was going to put this together today on account of him calling me, wanted to know about the ministry, about a woman, being around a woman when she on her ministry, on her period, rather. Yeah. So I ain't going to hold y'all today. I just wanted to, briefly uh, get that out the way. And I want to give all honor, glory, and praise and worship to Yahweh by saying, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Shalom.